Time to get the behind-the-scenes story of how the European Liberal Forum, the ELF, used Salesforce for their digital transformation, including creating a game-changing grant-making portal. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by Goran Nerlich, Head of Operations for the ELF. Thank you for joining us all the way from Brussels, Goran.
Thank you for having me.
First, tell us briefly about what the European Liberal Forum does, and then also what were some of the business priorities that you were hoping to address that led you to Salesforce?
Well, European Liberal Forum is a political foundation and a think tank of the European liberals. We are funded by the European Parliament. But first and foremost, we are a network of 56 member organizations all across Europe. And we have worked with our members on over 100 activities per year, which requires a lot of coordination, which is also primarily the job of my team, which is 4 people. And historically, we have struggled to keep up with the workload because we used different tools like Excels, Word documents, Jot forms, tools that were not really talking to each other. And there was no automation. So my team was spending their time updating the different tools instead of doing what they're supposed to do. And that is creating impact for the liberal movement in Europe.
I love, yeah, it's a very common issue throughout a lot of organizations, right? And so I'm curious, how has Salesforce addressed those challenges, and do you have any specific use cases or even anecdotes you can share about the Agentforce's impact?
Yeah, it was a game changer. Salesforce created a unified operational backbone for us. All the processes now flow through Salesforce. All the data, all the information about our projects is available in real time, which is pretty great for me as head of operations, but also for our senior managers, executive director, who can make strategic decisions about our projects at any given time. So it doesn't take any more a lot of time to get the reports out. We have everything in a dashboard and we can make decisions on the fly.
It must feel like, we talked about this before, but just like, for lack of a better term, right? But liberating, because you have so much of that technical, that busy work that's weighing you down. So once you're able to remove that, it must feel like, from just a daily POV, it just feels much more efficient and just feels much more lighter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are also a very regulated organization, so we have a lot of compliance. And you can imagine handling all of these things manually created a lot of stress as well, because there was always a chance that something would fall through the cracks, and that means a sanction for us. But now with Salesforce, we have basically a digital fortress. It tracks all the compliance risk for us. And we are much at ease that we can present our work to the authorities.
I'm going to keep that for the future, the digital fortress. I like that. There's a lot of competition out there. Why was Salesforce ultimately the right platform for the ELF?
Yeah, we didn't start with Salesforce. There were a couple of tries with different CRMs, but none of them really could capture the intricacies of our operations. So what we liked, especially with Salesforce, is that it's very flexible and adaptable. So our development partner was able to replicate all of our processes, even streamline some of them, which meant that we're still working the way we were supposed to work, but with less pressure on us to do manual checks and we were sure that we are doing everything correct.
Yeah, I think one of the keys at Salesforce is we try to meet customers exactly where they are, right? How do you imagine, looking forward, agentic AI will be able to help the ELF in the future?
Yeah, our system is still a toddler. I just realized it's just 2 years old, and we only had 1 year of fully being operational. So there are a few Excels and a few documents that we still want to get rid of. So automation of all the manual operations that we can, we will be looking into that. But what's more exciting is, of course, Agentforce. We are looking into project ELF Agentic, so creating a suite of agents that will help our members, but also my staff to be empowered so that all the heavy lifting is done by the agent instead of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. Your partners are sprawled across all of Europe, and then with this, with agentic tools, you're no longer bound by time zones, and,
Yeah.
you're available 24/7, which would truly be so freeing. What advice would you give to other organizations who are perhaps thinking about their digital transformation but haven't quite gotten started? What would you tell them?
Well, we learn from our failures as well as successes. So my first advice would be just take it step by step. I think especially for nonprofits with small budgets, it might be a daunting task to create a perfect project management system. But for us, it was helpful that we started step by step. We built a component, we made sure it works, and then we built on it and expanded. So now we are ready. We laid the pipeline for Agentforce so we can explore further how to improve.
I love that. Goran, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Brussels again and providing insight on how the ELF has been able to see more ROI with Salesforce.
Thank you for having me.
To learn more about how Agentforce Public Sector can help your organization reach new levels of productivity, scan the QR code on your screen.